Welcome to the Pasho Perspective, a place where I share my perspective on everything in the space between life and death. I am your host, Pasho. Well, my Pachos Chachos, another week has come and gone, and so let's talk about what is on my mind. I was looking at my classes, observing them of late, and I have kind of come to an epiphany, if you will, about our society. And so this episode is going to be dedicated to changing, hopefully, the culture that I am now observing. So first, what is the situation? Well, anytime my kids get free time, and if they finish their work or if there's a quiz and other people are still working, they have free time, their immediate response is to satisfy themselves with technology. Some, and it is a very modest minority, will actually pull out a physical book. Others write to video games. The majority, though, social media. I see swiping of left and right and up and down way, way too often. And so while observing them, I have come to this conclusion. The problem with our society is we have been teaching our boys to kind of sit in the background while women take first podium, which, hey, I am a fan of the feminine persuasion. You can ask my wife. Boys need to love girls more again. They are too distracted with pornography, masturbation, drug abuse, and video game distraction. And that's not even considering social media in that category, although that is a huge contributor and distractor of their time, and contributor to the problem of our society, which, again, is the fact that when a boy goes on a video game or watches a video or numbs himself on the couch, the man does not come out. Pursuing that is only going to lead to complacency. You do drugs, you are complacent. You watch porn, you're complacent that you're technically a virgin, but you're satisfied. You watch video games or play video games, again, you are distracting yourself from the cruel reality, which is you are wasting your time and not pursuing your purpose. Your purpose is to become a man. And there is no better motivator in this world, more than money itself. There's nothing more than a woman to do that job. Men became successful so that they could buy the car and the house and the attire that attracted the certain type of person that they want. But you take out the female, and all of that is just paper. And when you die, you can't take it with you. It means nothing. And even with all of it, you can still feel like an empty shell. Because our purpose, as I've said repeatedly, is about meaning. It's about love. It's about connection. It's about relationships. It's about picking up artifacts from the past that have been given to you by your ancestors and your family, and it is up to you to cipher through those artifacts as to what is worthy of passing along, and it should be a huge percent. Because all of that information and all that knowledge and all of those artifacts are what got your name, your family tree, the roots from which you grew to this point. As I've said before, when you stop pursuing a family, you stop pursuing that passing along of knowledge. And you also dry up and destroy the roots of that family tree, which hopefully there are cousins with the same last name. But otherwise, if you are the only one, extinction. No more dimples. No more freckles. No more weird laugh or annoying snort or who knows what your beautiful family has. When boys don't chase girls, their life is meaningless. And when we convince them that they can satisfy themselves, and when we convince women that they're actually the bad guys and shouldn't even be interested in them, which is even more deflating on the ego of a young man, what do you expect is going to happen? What have been the results that we've been talking about of late? Low marriage rate, low birth rate. Remember, now we're below 2 children per family, which will not continue our civilization. We will have to import, and maybe that's part of the plan. Let the American seed and tree die out, and let the rest of the world just come in. You know, a little pish-posh of Europe, essentially now. And it'll just be Europe too. It certainly won't be United States if we don't fix some of the things we're doing. But I thought for young men, instead of falling in love with sex itself and the gratification that you get from it, and only seeing women as vessels to be used and then discarded, that's someone's daughter. That's going to be someone's mother. That's not the way to treat people. All right, if you want to follow a guy who is in love with harems and pimping out women as if they were nothing more than cattle, then, I guess you know who to follow, but I think we're made for something better. And I think you're still listening to me because I think you know I'm onto something. So let me remind you, as I remind myself, that we as men and boys who are willing to take on that responsibility of being a man, which means putting down the video games, putting away the drugs, and stopping the masturbation and obsession with pornography, having to make those sacrifices. That's what your father taught you. You sacrifice yourself for those you love. When you do that, you'll start getting the family you want. You'll start feeling the meaning and the purpose that you've been looking for. But you have to be willing to change and improve yourself to deserve that person's love. And then you need to learn how to keep it. And I think maybe the most important part, teach that to your sons. Well, everybody, thank you very much for listening to me this week. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and I look forward to talking to you then. Take care. Bye. Bye.